Hold it, fellas. That don't move me. Let's get real gone for a change.
It's time to get real gone on the Rockabilly and Blues Radio Hour. Here's your host, James Riley.
This is Jammin' James Riley on your favorite hour for killer great music and interviews. It's the Rockabilly and Blues Radio Hour. Now this hour we get part 3 of our chat with Linda Gail Lewis.
You know, James, I wouldn't be a female rocker if it hadn't been for Wanda Jackson.
Much more coming up in just a bit. Plus we get our killer countdown brought to us by Lanark Records as we count down the top 20 of your favorite Jerry Lee Lewis tracks to celebrate the killer's birthday. Now this hour we hit the top 10 as we hear numbers 10 through number 6 later on the program. Now let's kick things off with something brand new from Dave Alvin and Phil Alvin. It's the first single from their Lost Time project titled World's in a Bad Condition on the Rockabilly and Blues Radio Hour.
I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I guess I better make a move. I better move. I better move. Well, the preacher comes to your house and you ask him to rest his hat. You know the next thing Reverend wants to know is, sister, where's your husband at? I declare this whole world is in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I guess I better make a move. I better move. I better move. You see that politician, and he claims that he's working for you, but when he asks you for a donation, he slips $1 down in his shoe. I declare this whole world is in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I guess I better make a move. I better move. I better move. Banker's gonna get your home. I declare this whole world is in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I guess I better make a move. I better move. I better move. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I declare this whole world's in a bad condition. I guess I better make a move. I better move. I better. I declare this whole world is in a bad condition.
Hi, this is Sonny Burgess of the Pacers, and I'm listening to my favorite hour of great music. It's a Rockabilly and Blues Radio Hour with Jammin' James Riley. That's Jim Riley.
Her eyes were blue, hair was auburn. Her smile was like angel fire. She was a daddy's only daughter. On that day, 'cause she bought her. When I took a ride to cross the line, picked her up in a pickup truck, broke his heart of mine. Her mama said no, she owned the daughter. Hey, we got married on that day, 'cause she bought her.
That's Sonny Burgess with a title cut of Tennessee Border from 1992, produced by Dave Alvin, who we heard from starting off the show. Also features Dave on guitars as well. Now let's get back into our interview with Linda Gail Lewis. But first we want to hear Big Bayou from her album Gas Station Flowers.
I took a long, long trip to the city. I was determined to get somewhere. I spent all my hard-earned money I had saved to put me there. Big Bayou, where did you go? To the river that's running slow, and to the Gulf of Mexico. Big Bayou, carry me home. I took a cotton-picking job in Memphis, and the people there treated me good. But my luck ran bad in Nashville. I had to walk the streets of Hollywood. Big Bayou, carry me home, where the river is running slow, and to the Gulf of Mexico. Big Bayou, where did you go? I won't need a lot of money, 'cause I ain't going nowhere. Big Bayou, where did you go? To the river that's running slow, and to the Gulf of Mexico. Big Bayou, carry me home. Big Bayou, where did you go? To the river that's running slow, and to the Gulf of Mexico. Big Bayou, carry me home.
That's Big Bayou from our guest, Linda Gail Lewis. You've developed a friendship with Wanda Jackson. Do you feel a special kinship with the female rockers out there?
You know, James, I wouldn't be a female rocker if it hadn't been for Wanda Jackson. I was a country singer.
Yeah.
And I did a little rock and roll, just kind of, sang it a little bit with my brother. We recorded Roll Over Beethoven. But if I was doing Roll Over Beethoven today,
yeah,
or when I do it today, it's a totally different song for me now. And the way that happened was I was on the Silk Cut Festival tour with Jerry, I'd been in retirement for a few years because I wanted to be with my children. And when I went back on the road, I was on that tour with Jerry, and Wanda Jackson was on that tour. And I got to know her and her husband, Wendell. We would all be in the breakfast room in the mornings in those hotels in Europe. You know, they have free breakfast and everybody goes. And so we were there, and I got to know her, and I got to know Wendell, but especially her, because, you know, we were two ladies on the road.
Yeah.
And we like to talk about our children and things like that, and growing up in the music business, how different it was. And I got to know Wanda, and she is a really sweet, lovely Christian lady who is, I just love being around her. It's just such a pleasure for me to have a chance to sit down and visit with her as I did then. I didn't really know that much about her music because, you know, I'm a Jerry Lee Lewis fan, and growing up in my home, we listened to a little bit of Patsy Cline, a little bit of Hank Williams, Jim Reeves, very few other artists, though, and maybe a Ray Charles record every now and then, but all the time in my home, when growing up with my mother and daddy, Jerry's music, once he started recording, it played every day. It was playing all the time. So I just didn't really think that much about other artists, and so I thought, well, you know, Wanda's such a sweet person. I'm going to go out and watch her show because we had this gig with her in France where she was doing, she was going on first. It was a matinee. And I said, well, I have this chance now. I'll go out and see Wanda, just mostly to be polite. I didn't know that it was going to be a life-changing experience. And so I go out there, and I'm standing backstage watching her, and she walks up to that microphone, you know, and she starts singing Let's Have a Party.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I saw and heard a woman who could rock like a man.
Yeah.
And I thought, now I get this. Now I get this because Jerry had said to me one time that the Great Balls of Fire thing that Dolly Parton did, it was all wrong. And I said to Jerry, what is wrong with this? And he said, she's singing it like a girl. He said, if you do a rock and roll song, you got to rock like a man. But then I remembered him saying that, and then I'm standing there listening to and watching and hearing Wanda Jackson just do this. It just blew me away. I was so amazed at how great she was then, and I saw her recently, and she still is.
Oh, absolutely.
So then I thought, well, you know, maybe I can do rock and roll. So I started my solo career at that time because Jerry's wife at that time didn't really want to have me as part of the gig. And I thought, well, Jerry has a new baby boy. That would be Jerry Lee Lewis III. I'm so fond of my nephew, Lee. Just love him. And I thought, he's got this new baby boy and this fairly new marriage. I'm creating a problem, so I'm going to start my solo career. And then everybody said, well, you're 40 years old and overweight, and what are you going to do?
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought, well, just hang on a minute, just hide and watch. Because, you know, my mother and my brother and my daddy and my family, my sister, too, everybody's always given me a lot of confidence in myself. So I just figured I could do it. And after I heard Wanda out there rocking like she was rocking in France, I thought, well, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to play the piano, and I'm going to sing rock and roll. And that I don't know that I would ever have done it if I hadn't seen what Wanda could do. It really influenced me greatly.
That's very
cool.
And
I told her after that, I said, you know, I wouldn't have ever done rock and roll if it hadn't been for you. And she looked at me because I'd just done a really raunchy version of what I say, which I don't know if she and Wendell actually approved of that. And she just looked at me, and she said, I hope that's a good thing, Linda.
Oh, me. Well, I tell you,
so sweet. I love her. They were so nice to me because we were both on the same festival, and they left their hotel and came. They weren't on the same night I was, but they left their hotel to come and see my gig.
Oh, that's
they're
so
lovely.
cool.
Oh, they're so lovely.
Yeah, I tell you what, if anybody needs any proof, they could just get on YouTube and find some Linda Gail Lewis in concert videos, and boy, it will blow them away. I tell you.
Well, thank you. I have a special feeling for this music. I really love it.
Yeah, it's one of those where you watch and you're like, okay, wow, well, then she is showing everybody how it's done.
Well, it's so much fun.